Hello, who's this? Who hasn't shown his or their face, better said, in a couple of months? It's me. Hi. And I'm actually very sorry about that. Life's just been very busy. I posted on Instagram, at least. I'm very proud of myself that I keep this one pretty alive. And otherwise, if you want to have more in-depth information about what has been happening, there is a monthly blog which I am posting on my own website. You can read that up, but just a disclaimer, I've been to a wedding, I am studying for exams, or I've been writing exams, and now I'm studying for oral exams, and that's why I've been booked and busy. Now I'm trying to kind of cover up at least 3 months in one video, and I'm pretty curious of how this is going to be. So I am dealing with the heat. I'm so happy that I have kind of that I can like close up my windows with whatever this thing is called, which you can press a button on and then it's coming down to create some shade in your room. I hope you have a drink, that you're staying hydrated with this heat wave which is happening here around the world. It's not just Europe, it's not just Germany especially, it's around the world. I've seen climate maps from all around the world, and this is not normal, and people still say climate change is not real. It is real, guys. This is not normal. It's not like the heat wave 1976. It's not. Anyways, before I get really angry about all that, let me come back to the topic of reading, and especially around April, because the last video I've done was my recap of what I've read in March and what I wanted to read in April. So here we go. What I've actually read in April is a Netgalley arc from the English side of Netgalley, and that was Strange Lights. And I still don't know to this day how to really categorize this book, because it is supernatural fiction, supernatural fantasy, or so it's also very leaning to science fiction. And honestly, this is a book I cannot reframe from its entire plot, because it's been a ride, literally and figuratively. We have the main protagonist, Reggie, and they, I think, Reggie has a child, better said. Reggie adopted a chupacabra on one of their trips, and has been their kind of adoptive parent for said chupacabra. And honestly, that was wild, but also the entire ride of finding new kind of supernatural species, meeting other people. It's been a wonderful journey. It's been hilarious at times, but also serious at the right point. So much that it's been great. I really liked it. Another thing which I've read in April was still in the fantasy genre, but that was a manga. It is Beyond Clouds, the first volume. I finished that one, and it's such a lovely, kind of a little bit cozy, but it's having enough stakes to keep you thrilled series, because honestly I love the friendship which is developing between the protagonists, and honestly I look so forward to reading more of this series, because I have the entire series here. After I've noticed, okay, this will be done with 5 volumes, happy to just continue. What I've also read was The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. A long title for a book, but it is a story which really goes under your skin. I'm not sure if I bought this book a couple of years ago or if my mom was like giving it to me as a gift. It was such a great story, but it may not be close to my heart as The Little Prince is, but it is close enough. So close enough that I can see myself rereading the story, but I'm really going to keep my copy. And I don't know when the reread will happen, but there will be one because there are so many quotes and points and scenes which just are fuel for the heart, are words you need to hear and read, especially when you feel really low. So it's perfect. It's perfect, especially for that. Um, so a book which I recommend for anybody who wants to read, especially queer stuff while Pride, but also just for all all around the year, because honestly, hi, somebody from the queer folk here. We're queer all year, and I love seeing recommendations and representation in books in general. So this book, it is incredible, well written. If you are looking for something which is a little bit more on the spooky side, if you look for a ghost story kind of thing, combined with a little bit of mythology slash historical background, and it's set in Vietnam. It is a totally different place, like setting. It is a totally different setting from what I'm used to. So that's that. Um, she is a haunting. It's a it's an incredible book which takes the point of friendships being built slowly. Maybe also a little bit with like, I'm not sure if I'm trusting this person yet. Um, to a different but so well nuanced degree, I want to say. Uh, Seriously, I don't know how to reframe this book in a well described pattern, but let's say it like this: our protagonist is staying in Vietnam at the place of her dad, and her dad is like an architect who is renovating, especially all the buildings. And there's this one he bought, which is from the time when the French people, I kind of want to say, invaded Vietnam. It's a whole story to the house itself, and the house eats its people who are living there. This is an entire haunting story about a ghost who ended up as a ghost wrongfully, and there's a very, very angry ghost. So there are two different ghosts, if I recollect that correctly. You have also our protagonist who is trying to figure out, okay, how do I save my family from being eaten literally by this house, which likes to make everything rot, which is in the fridge, even it's been just added an hour ago, which shows that especially insects around the windows which you can hardly open, if at all. I think the one in the room Jade is living at doesn't even get opened. A wonderful story about finding your own voice and figuring out who the heck am I. It's it's well written. I really liked it. I highly recommend it. And now we are coming over to what I've read in May. One of the things I've read in May was Pandora Heart's Pearl, the fourth volume. Um, I finally finished that one, and I'm so looking forward to the fifth one because Pandora Hearts is a comfort series for me, even though it's very dark and twisted. If you look behind the scenes and if you're really deep into the materia of the lore behind it, like let's say the canon story behind it, because I mean I grew up with that. I grew up with the dark stories. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry, but I really, really love this. It's I love the twisted ways, I love the characters, I love how things connect and unveil bit by bit, and how the plot is twisting in ways if you read it for the first time, or if you just like watch the anime for the first time, you're not certain how it goes. Just saying, it's incredible. I love it. Another thing which I've read is actually a reread, and that is the poem collection, like poetry collection by Richard Siken. It is called Crush. It's my it's it's one of my favorite poetry collections, but in the way of something I've grown to love. Honestly, when I first read the poetry collection, I was not too fond of it, but I found more and more pieces the more often I've read it, to different times of my life now. Better said, of the past years. I've had that volume now since I've been when I was still a university student, and now as somebody who's been at least almost 4 years out of uni, it's it's still stuck with me. Another thing which I've read aside of poetry and manga was a continuation of a novel series, or better said, it's a main duology, and there's going to be a third book in this world. I finished the second volume of the Hexbound Disasters series by Francis Eden, called The Lovely Side of Death. And I really love how the story twists and how we get this ending. Seriously, if you want to read the story, especially if you understand German, go for it. I really liked the series. It spoke to me in the ways it's cozy, yet it's dark enough. If you want a richy read with a demon male interest and figuring out, okay, what do I like? Who the hell am I even as a person when I am confronted with my own fears and not having to listen to the voices you've heard growing up? I hope I reframed this really well. I'm not sure. It is a lovely read. I love it. I love those two books so much. I love how the second book shows how you have not lost everything, even if you believe at first that everything's lost. Yeah. Another manga I've read that is Beyond Clouds 2. That is the second volume of Beyond Clouds, which I've read like the first volume I've read the month prior, and now in May I've read Beyond Clouds 2. As I said, I'm still trying to continue the series. I hope I'll finish it this year. I'm pretty sure I will be done with the rest of the volumes this year yet, but I cannot say in what time frame. Another manga which I've read was it's an adaptation of the novel Tschernobyl. Chernobyl. That was an arc I've received from Netgalley, but this time the German side, and it was mind blowing. Thinking of what has happened, I think it was roughly 40 years ago, when the reactor exploded and parts of Ukraine have been not, able to be entered. It's mind blowing. It's because if I remember correctly, those are statements from witnesses who have been there, seen how a reactor exploded, or who have lost family, friends, lovers, pets, due to this incident back then. And honestly, it is very, very heart wrenching, to say the least. Now we are getting to the point of, okay, what did I read in June? What have I started in June now? So, because honestly, I have not finished any books this month. I don't even think I'll finish anything this month, because honestly, I am not sure what my reading mood is like, and also because mentally I'm not quite in a reading space. Yeah, reading mood space, if this is making sense, because honestly there has been so many news flashes to me, and just it's so hard honestly, but concentrating is hard. And yeah, I don't know what's June going to look like for the rest of the day, so I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna finish them now. Not now, but hopefully next month, but so much to that later. Anyways, what I started in June was a complete edition of Wolf's Rain, which is another anime series I've grown up with, which is heart-wrenching to the core, because it is one of the things where I'm just like, okay, this is sci-fi I do read, I do enjoy, because honestly I'm more of a fantasy than a sci-fi person, but there are parts of sci-fi where I'm just like, okay, I can deal with that. And that is one of it. It's such a heart-wrenching story, because our friendships growing between entire strangers who might or might not get along at first. We have different characters with everyone has different backgrounds, and everyone has maybe not different beliefs, but they have a different way of showing that they might want to follow the same goal, but to get to the point of a mutual understanding, they have to go through a lot. And I'm not gonna say that the series is actually a very sad one. So the anime was very sad. I cried tears. I still do. Another thing which also um, gets under my skin, but I have not read a lot about yet. I'm still diving into the story. It is Where We Belong. It's and I'm not even far in, but it still feels very well written to me already. I'm, let it be 20% in. I am not very far, but it's far enough for me already to say, hey, that one hits. It's hitting the fields, guys. It's hitting the fields. We are just at the beginning. We are just opening up to what has happened to our protagonist Nellie, what has happened to her, and making her the person she's now. And honestly, I'm so looking forward to it, to finishing it, hopefully in July. And for that, we are coming to what is Chris gonna read in July, and that is one of the things. Where We Belong is going to be one of the books I hope to finish for coming month, because honestly I really like it so far, and for the many points I just mentioned, I'm curious in what kind of ways it is going to develop from the plot and the story, and from the characters. Another thing I also want to finish is Wolf's Rain, because honestly, I love the series. I loved the series when I grew up, and reading the manga is just gonna wrench my heart, but it's absolutely worth it. And otherwise, for July, my plans, reading wise, it is, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Let's figure out what kind of reading mood we actually have. Is it gonna be something short? Is it gonna be something long? Maybe I'm just gonna finish verse 2 and that's it, and that is totally fine. I don't want to pick anything from my TBR jars for the coming month. I don't want to have a set TBR, because first of all, I need to figure out, okay, what do I actually want to read? What is my current mood like? Much to that. My voice is cracking. Anyways, that is all I have to say for now. I hope you guys are staying hydrated in this heat and that you are having a good, cool, and kind of shaded spot to rest at for all the stressful moments in between. That you drink plenty of water, or maybe, I don't know, make a concoction as I did, which is water with a little bit of juice, because otherwise I don't drink enough. Stay kind, stay hydrated, and try to rest in between. I'll see you around whenever I upload the next time here on YouTube, or else you just see me on Instagram. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye bye.